Well, guys, we got a few more stories to go through today because the lunacy never sleeps, does it? So first up, let's quickly laugh at the Tory MP caught scrolling through the internet wank bank while sitting in the House of Commons in a committee. Yes, I know it's a few days old, but I find this bloody hilarious in a time of constant doom and gloom. Though I've got to say, I'm sitting here wondering if he actually was having a Barclays bank while watching it in the Commons, or was he scrolling to find material so he could knock one out later? Did anyone catch him choking his chicken during a committee meeting or not, is a question I'm sure we all want answered just for a laugh. Now, obviously, I don't condone what he did, but I've got to say, it does smell like a bit of party political nonsense with the local elections coming up, don't it? Now, yes, he shouldn't be doing it, the saucy old sod, but the timing is suspect, and him resigning in shame over it got Labour's desired outcome, did it not? Of course, people are trying to use it to attack the porn industry itself and put it behind paywalls and all of this, but more important is the woke lunacy coming out of all this. Yep, as some might know, since this all come out, the Tory party chairman and certified soy boy Oliver Dowden has said that they're going to aim for 50% women MPs in future. This, I'm guessing, is to make it less likely future Tory MPs will be caught spanking the plank in Parliament or in committees, like I said. How it stops this one MP watching porn in there, I don't know, but it certainly didn't make Telegraph readers happy when they see it. Here in this article, which I'm not going through, there's literally thousands of comments on this, ripping into Oliver Dowden in every way possible. Many of them said they would rather the best person for the job, regardless of sex, for obvious reasons, while others suggested they try aim for 50% of MPs being competent, which I would actually have to agree with. Obviously, though, most just sat there complaining about how woke this utter tripe is because they ain't blue-head lefty tosspots or Labour voters. But I guess for anyone whose head's been up their arsehole for the past 2 years, the Tories are about as right-wing as Owen Jones these days, are they not? Yes, they was pretty woke before all that, but now they're openly competing with Labour and the far left for the woke Olympics, it would seem. So guys, 50% of Tory MPs will have a set of gammon hangers in the future because of some Tory tosspot watching. Smart, it's pure insanity, but anyway, let's move on to something else. And here, once again, we're talking about the UK government attacking freedom of speech online with their Censors Charter or Online Safety Bill as they call it. Recently, The Telegraph had an opinion piece from Silky Carlo on it pointing out what I said like 5 days ago, all in relation to Musk buying Twitter and free speech in the UK. As I said then, Elon Musk's plan is for free speech within the bounds of the law, which if this goes through means no free speech for the UK on the internet, never mind Twitter. As I've said before, legal but harmful content being at the whims of the Secretary of State literally puts an end to that all full stop. Yep, this bill includes legal but harmful content that is beyond demented as it gives the Home Secretary of the day the right to decide what is legal but harmful content. I want you to sit there and think about where that could lead us if Labour got in power or if the Conservatives go even further left than they already have, because this bill is something you would have expected from the Corbynated chicken and Labour, not the so-called Conservatives. Though, to be honest, these days the Tories are not Conservatives in the slightest, are they? As I've said before, they should be called the Conservatives given the way they've acted since 2020 and even before then, but more so with how they're acting now. Be it net zero, immigration, lockdowns or government spending and interference, they're not Conservative in the slightest. This Censors Charter here is another nail in that coffin. Well, I say it will be when the average Tory voter finds out about it, I expect. Now, because they know people won't like it, they're pushing it through under the guise of protecting kids, but that's just smoke and mirrors. Shit, they even tried to use Sir David Amy's murder as an excuse for them bringing this in, despite it actually having nothing to do with it, and all to do with their immigration policies, as I said at the time. This, like I said then, shows me it's being brought in for nefarious purposes and not what they actually claim it's for. My bet would be that it's to protect politicians being called out for their absolute shitweasel behaviour that at this point is beyond taking the piss. As you likely know, they don't want people sharing things online that expose their skullduggery that they get up to literally daily, and they don't want people like us poking holes in their narrative, do they? After all, they spend a lot of time and effort to shape the propaganda that's pumped out by mainstream and media hacks. They don't want the easily led to find out that they're lied to literally all the bloody time. This is partly why since 2020 the UK government ramped up telling YouTube, Facebook and the rest of them to censor certain people or topics because it was destroying their narrative. Now up next, you all remember Priti Patel's Rwanda deal that some media outlets hate while others claim is actually working to stop the boats coming over. The Mail talked about 10 days with no boats just a few days ago, as many other people also did. Well, in what will shock few of you, they were wrong because they're still coming, as I covered yesterday in my video. Yep, yesterday I showed Steve Laws showing the RNLI and Border Force bringing in 40 people despite the Rwanda deal being in place. Then throughout the day there was another 200 or so who arrived, meaning like I said, the Rwanda deal didn't do jack shit. Well, today in what's gonna shock no one, they are back again with a boatload arriving this morning and more are on their way as we speak. In fact, we could actually see more today than we did yesterday, but time's gonna tell on that one. Now on top of this, Nigel Farage is out in the channel with TW Media and Steve Laws down in Dover, so there should be plenty of coverage for people to watch. I will actually link the live streams of TW Media and Steve Laws down below, plus any other ones I can find. Now up next, we've actually got Bill Gates, tech billionaire tosspot, and now it seems expert in medicine and virology, telling us we ain't seen the worst of bat flu. Yep, a guy who makes computer software is telling us about pandemics, which has some people asking how we could possibly know this unless of course he plans one. It does seem rather strange that he would come out with this, but apparently he was promoting a book or something, which has me asking why he would write a book on something he's not an expert in. Now, another concerning part of all this is where he actually talks about giving more power and money to the WHO, which might well be the aim of this article here. That is obviously scary stuff, but either way, I thought it was worth mentioning that this computer tit is saying this and thinking he's the world's expert virologist, when to be honest, I trust Boris more than I trust Bill Gates, and I don't trust Boris in the slightest, so that tells you what I think of this tripe from that reptile there, let me tell ya. But guys, you know what, that's going to be the end of the video there, so it's time for me to love you and leave you until tomorrow. But remember to let me know what you think down in the comment section below as always. Subscribe if you ain't already and hit the notification bell to see when I upload the next one.
There is a pattern consistent throughout history of oppressed people turning on the oppressors, slaves against their owners, the peasantry against the feudal barons, colonies, Mr. Verhofstadt, against their empires. And that is why Britain is leaving. And it doesn't matter which language you use, we are going and we are glad to be going. We're off.